Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video, and welcome back to another review for Insecure Season 5, Episode 2, and we're going to jump right into it because we have a lot to cover in this week's episode. So the show starts off with a bit of a montage. It's a year later, and they're kind of showing the progression of how Issa's business is really growing. The blog has like 10,000 followers on Instagram. She's getting a lot of good feedback. She's hosting events. She's thriving in her business, and Molly is thriving in her career as well. It's good to see Torian, I think his name is. Torian looks like he's doing well. Molly's getting along with her coworkers at work. They're doing great professionally. So this is a good sign for where they both are in their careers. Now we just have to work on the love lives, but they're definitely getting along together. They're even having a sleepover like they used to. The old Molly and Issa is definitely back. Next up, we see Issa. She's at the barbershop, Nathan's barbershop. Good to see Nathan back. So Nathan and the co-owner of the barbershop are talking to Issa about an event that they're planning, trying to coordinate it. It's good to see Issa and Nathan. Their friendship survived everything that they've been through. They still seem to really enjoy each other's company. At the end of the day, it's a good friendship. So I like that for Issa. So anyway, they end up getting hungry and they end up at this restaurant and they're still talking about it. And, they see that the restaurant is setting a vibe. They're putting lit candles all over. There's a couple making out in the corner, and Issa and Nathan talk about it. And she's like, "What do you have planned for tonight?" And he said, "I have plans downtown." And Issa says, "Those kind of plans?" And he's like, he doesn't say no, but he doesn't say yes. And so that lets Issa know that he is seeing somebody. And Issa says she's going to go chill with Molly. So meanwhile, on the other side of town, Molly is hanging out with her parents. She's going to a birthday party for one of her nephews. And her parents, she's been hounding them to do some estate planning. But while she's there, the mother does not miss an opportunity to try to hook her up with a deacon from the church. He reworks trap songs for Jesus. And so he popped up on the scene. He doesn't look like Molly's traditional, usual type. Molly definitely isn't interested in being hooked up. If the mom's giving her a hard time, like, we're getting older, you're getting older. So the mother is putting a lot of pressure on Molly, saying that, she's getting old and that they're getting old and they want to see her walk down the aisle and when that's going to be. It's really hard. Molly is really handling it well, but that kind of pressure is a lot. Next up, we see Issa in full-on corporate boss mode. She's giving a big presentation before this company, and she's pitching her event that she has coming up featuring a local artist by the name of Crenshawn, a play on Crenshaw, but girl, whatever. Like, Issa's love affair with LA, so of course. So she's telling them, more about the pitch. They seem very into it, but at the end of her presentation, they pull her to the side, and they're basically questioning some of the choices, saying that it's on the high end of their budget, and they're really not sure. Issa wants to do interpretive dance, and she has a drum line, and there's going to be lowrider bikes. It's very LA, very urban, and this company is trying to keep it more, I don't know what word they're trying to use for it, but they don't want it to be as urban. I'll say it like that. And Issa's definitely disappointed because they had already previously agreed to some of these things, but now they're trying to back off. Next up, we see Issa, and she's over at Molly's. Now, we've seen Issa talk to Molly about her career before when she worked at We Got Y'all. She would come in, jeans and a t-shirt, but you see the evolution of Issa. Issa is in a power suit, hair coiffed, looking very businesslike, talking about, big, huge, multi-thousand-dollar deals and things like that. It just seems like she's definitely grown in her career, and she and Molly, at least career-wise, they seem like they're on the same page. And so they're talking about it, and Issa comes in, she's talking to Nathan while she's on the phone, and, as soon as she gets off the phone, Molly is like, "I can't believe you can still be friends with Nathan." And Issa says, he's seeing someone, and I'm okay being his friend and all that. And Molly's like, "I just can't see myself doing that, like being friends with an ex." And so they're talking about the meeting that Issa had, and Issa tells her that they're trying to change different things, and it seems like they're trying to make the event white friendly, in Issa's words. And Molly's like, every boss got a boss, so maybe you should go to her. And Issa considers it. So it's the next day, and Molly is deciding to get back out there into the dating world. She loads up her dating app, looks at her old profile where she had all these ideas. He better be making six figures. He better be college educated, no kids, this and that. And she was like, "Ooh, I was doing the most." And I like this scene because Molly gets a couple of flashbacks. She flashes back to, how hard she has been on men before. And then she even flashes back to some of her exes or some of the relationships that didn't work out, like with Jared. Remember Jared from the first season? Ah, he was adorable. But anyway, Jared and even Andrew, like how these relationships ended, and she had to really like take a step back when she's being asked the question, what is she looking for? I do love the fact that Molly is showing growth and introspection. In the past, with the men that Molly has dated, she's always expected them to be perfect, and she always had unrealistic expectations for them. That's why she would always break her own heart by expecting them to be something that they weren't, instead of just loving people for where they are and how they are, especially with Molly herself having all this baggage and her own issues. If you ever want to be loved and accepted, flaws and all, you have to love and accept people with their flaws as well. So Issa takes Molly's advice, and she does meet with the boss of the guy who she was talking to about Crenshawn and the big event that she's having. Now, this was the same lady who was in last week's episode. She was on the panel, so Issa knows her from there, and it took her 6 months to woo this lady into even entertaining her. So this is a really big deal. Issa's definitely putting in the work. So Issa's talking to the lady about the different things that they discussed in the meeting, about how she doesn't want to cut some of the very crucial and important parts of the event out. And, you know, while she's talking, another meal arrives, and Issa's like, well, who's this for? And the dude shows up. He shows up, and he's looking at Issa crazy because he's like, I can't believe you really went above me and talk to my boss about this. So he tells Issa again, you know, this is a bit ambitious. And Issa talks to them. She really believes in it. And she's like, look, you guys, if you do this and it's successful, you'll be able to say that you were the one that discovered this artist. They have a quick talk about it, and they agree to Issa's terms. However, they do say they have some notes about it, and Issa agrees. So Issa arrives at Crenshawn's studio, or his workspace. He is a clothing designer who helps inmates. He's a former inmate himself, but he's into fashion. And so he's talking to Issa. Issa tells him everything is a go, and he's all excited. And that's when Issa tells him that they did have some notes, and he already looks like he's feeling some kind of way. And Issa said they want to get rid of the performers, they want to get rid of the lowrider bikes, and he's very disappointed because he's like, maybe they don't really get my vision, they don't understand, maybe we should wait. And Issa's like, no, we spent 6 months getting all this together. I don't want to throw it away. This is the opportunity. And she ends up talking him into it. Now, the actor is, I think his name is pronounced Kofi Sinabo. He's doing a great job portraying this character of Crenshawn. So Molly is making a quick call to her mom to apologize for kind of hounding the mom and the dad about the estate. And Molly says something along the lines of, you know, I know that I could be uptight sometimes, so whenever I feel it, I know that I have to address it. That was such a quick line that can seem like a throwaway line, but that shows the growth of Molly. That was the main issue that Andrew had with Molly, is that she would get too uptight, too wound up about something. I remember him saying, everything's an issue with you. But for her to be like, I'm seeing an issue in me, I'm doing something about it, I'm making the call first, I saw something about myself that I did not like and I'm addressing it, that's growth. That's exactly what I wanted to see. There's a sprinkling these little seeds out there, letting you know that Molly is becoming healthier within herself, somebody who is ready for a healthy relationship. It's not going to be all dependent on the man who she's with to fix her. She has done the work. She hasn't even dated for an entire year. She spent the year dating herself, spending time with her friends, working on her career. So I feel like that's really important. So when they do introduce a love interest for Molly, it will not seem rushed or forced. It will feel like she did the work and is ready for it. So the moment that Issa has been planning for months is finally here, the night of her big event, and her big event featuring the artist Crenshawn. So, you know, she's being interviewed, and she's being motioned over by her assistant, and she goes over there, and the assistant's like, Crenshawn is basically backstage wilding. So Issa goes back there, and she notices that she sees the lowrider bike, she sees the drum line, she sees the performers, everything that she told him that the brand wanted her to cut from the event, he still had it. So Issa is tripping. She's like, hey, what's going on? I thought we had a plan, that we were a team. And he's like, I knew that if I told you, you would tell me not to do it. So that's why I didn't tell you. But I'm an artist, and this is what I want. I'm still doing it. And Issa and him are having a falling out. He's calling her a sellout and everything. And Issa's like, well, how could you do this after all the time I put into it? We're supposed to be a team. So Molly is there by her side like she used to be, trying to encourage her, trying to get her through this. Molly looks amazing. This outfit, this haircut, Even the fact that they're both wearing black and white, when they're coordinating outfits, you know they're in sync. So anyway, but so the event starts and it's tame in the beginning, and Molly's like, girl, you were tripping, it's not even that bad. Then the lights dim and it's chaos. It's people jumping around, skipping around like fleas on hot bricks. There's the low riders, there's the performance, there's the drum line, all of that stuff. Everything that she cut is there, but it works. But the whole time that the performance is going on, the guy from the brand is like wincing, making all these faces. He looks like he's just shocked. They're like skipping around him, and he looks stunned the entire show. So Issa just assumes that it's not going well. But in the end, he comes to Issa and he's like, I'm so inspired by people like you and Crenshawn who go with their gut and believe in their artistry. He's actually thoroughly impressed that they believed in themselves and that they went after what they wanted, even at the big risk involved. He tells Issa that he wants to hear more of her projects and that he's gonna do his best to get her even more funding. So it's good news. Crenshawn looks over, they still giving each other the stink eye. And then Issa is like standing there, and then she looks up and she sees the full moon, the same full moon from season 1 of this season that she was talking to Lawrence about. So I feel like she thinks of Lawrence when she sees this. And instead of calling Lawrence because they're on a break or they're broken up, she texts Nathan and asks him if he wants to meet up later for a drink. And of course, he obliges. Then there's a really quick scene with Molly looking visibly nervous. She's, taking a quick drink. She's like waiting for a date. And then she sees this guy. She motions for him to come over. And to herself, she mutters, embracing change, embracing change, embracing change. And I'm like, yes, you are. I'm proud of Molly this season because she is embracing change. Your old rules weren't working. It's time to try something new. And so I'm happy for Molly. But then there's a scene, the very final scene is with Issa and Nathan. He does come over, they're drinking wine. Issa's starting to get a little bit tired. And, he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. She's like, why don't you just stay the night? Next thing you know, Issa's in a cute little yellow little lingerie or negligee or whatever you want to call it. And she's in bed with Nathan. And he goes to kiss her. They have a sweet, tender little kiss. And then Issa busts out crying. She tells him, I thought I was ready, but I'm not ready. She cries herself to sleep, wakes up, and he's gone. At this moment, I've come to a decision. I do not want Issa and Nathan together. I was okay with it last season, but I'm not okay with it this season. It is not fair. She knows this man is in love with her. It took her nothing to make this man drop whoever that was that he was dating. He's clearly in love with her. They can't just be friends. And it's not fair to him to only be with him or only call him when you can't be with Lawrence. Let that man go find love and let him find somebody who is willing to make him their number one choice. I feel like it's selfish for Issa to keep him around knowing how he feels about her. Don't friend zone him or freeze him when things are going good in your relationship and then thaw him out when you're lonely and want something to pass the time. That's not fair. And Issa, no ma'am, that is not cute. Anyway, that is it for this week's episode. Hope that you guys have enjoyed this review. Let me know how you feel about it. Do you still want to see them together? Do you feel like I feel that Issa is using him in a way? Because this man is in love with her. And this is the second time she's done this to him. He was her rebound at Coachella. He's her rebound here again. Every time she can't be with Lawrence, she comes to him, and that's not fair. He doesn't even make her forget about Lawrence. So she's using him as a rebound again. Let me know if you guys see the growth that I feel like I'm seeing in Molly, that Molly is changing, that she's growing. What do you feel about the haircut? I'm loving the haircut. I feel like it really suits her, especially like how they're dressing her. That black outfit with the gold chain. Girl, yes, all of it. Yes to all of it. It's sassy. It's sexy. Oh, she could definitely pull it off. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this week's episode, and I'll see you guys again in a new review next week. Be sure to click the screen if you haven't seen my last review, and also tap that subscribe button while you're at it. Till next time, later divas and dudes, this is Honey.